Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am a partner manager at Soft4, which is an ISV, a registered brand of the company Software Baltic, which is located in Lithuania, working with the industry-specific solutions since 2008. And I'm going to share our insights gained through the time on why it is significant for the partners like you to go vertical with ISVs to survive. After the newest Microsoft Dynamics updates, it became clear that the only way for VARs to survive is to either create their own verticals or start selling the existing ones. Today I will overlook the situation and talk more about why is it better to start working with verticals, what might happen if you don't, what is a good ISV to work with, and we'll cover two industry verticals that can help scale your business and address your clients. So for real estate, which is for commercial property management, and software leasing for asset finance companies. So let's start talk a bit about the future. But can anyone give me the name of what is shown in this picture? I guess not to waste the time, I would just say that it's a British Empire. In 1922, the British Empire was still the largest empire the world had ever known. It spanned 20.7 million square miles, which is 33 million square kilometers, roughly a quarter of the Earth's landmass. With 456 million people, a quarter of the world's population. At that time, few could have imagined how the world was going to change within just 100 years. In 1894, London was home to tens of thousands of horses, each of them consuming, according to one calculation, the produce of 5 acres of arable land per day, and each produced between 7 to 16 kilograms of manure per day. This was the context in which the Times of London dared to predict in 1894 that by 1950 every street in London would be 9 feet deep in horse manure. And yet just another example of my home country, Lithuania. Back in 1977, in the Soviet Union, the parking places by the apartment buildings were built having in mind there will be one car for 20 flats. The fact is nobody knows what the future will look like. It is also too easy to focus on one single trend, development, or incident, then extrapolate and jump to the wrong conclusion. There is a time when people have a feeling that change is in the air. We live in such a time. This is the impression we have gleaned from hundreds of conversations with partners, colleagues, Microsoft people, and customers. They perceive that the way we do business will dramatically be different in the future. That's why we decided that it's a time to organize this webinar today. Think about where would you like to be in 5 years from now? I myself would advise you to don't even consider to go or not to go vertical. The question is why to go vertical? And the simpler answer would be to survive, but let's look at it a bit deeper. When you take an honest look at your business, how much of it is genuinely unique? Think about it for a while. If you are a Microsoft Dynamics partner competing against others in the channel, you can't claim that out-of-the-box software is unique. Many partners like to talk about their approach to implementing the software as being a unique selling proposition. We focus on great user adoption, we are the seeded engagement guys, but if most cared to look at their competitors' websites, they would realize everyone says more or less the same thing. Here's another. Our people are unique. Yes, so are the people at my company, and they all have the same Microsoft qualifications you guys have got, plus some of them have been in this game a long time too. We offer great service. Good, I should hope so. But that isn't a unique seller proposition on which to hang your hat either. That's just a ticket to the party. Dictionaries tells us unique means something that is the only one of its kind, unlike anything else. But the truth is that there isn't much in today's saturated world of products and services that is unique. That's why you have branding experts who create highbrow campaigns that tap into your inner psyche and worldview. But let me get back to what's unique in our world, in my opinion, a bit later. Microsoft has been pushing us to go vertical for several, if not tens of years by now. In my eyes, as a Dynamics partner, now you have two choices. A is close your eyes and keep repeating that nothing is changing and don't worry about the future until it comes. And B, rethink your strategies having in mind the industries and Microsoft's changes and be ready. Let me start with the A. What happens if you don't want to change anything and still do the projects as you were used to? Maybe nothing for the next 2 or 3 years, but even if you have many projects today, you might want to think that margins are shrinking. All of us know that. Customers are not willing to pay more for the projects with no specific know-how involved. By no specific, I mean just the standard NAV, supply chain management, manufacturing, distribution, etc. And with monthly subscription, they are willing to pay even less for the project too. This is how it should look like visually. If the cost for the license used to be like this, and cost for the project used to be like this, the difference in figures was not too big, and the customer was okay with that. But once the license costs get much lower than the cost for the project, the customer will be hesitant to start the project at all, and that's the situation we see often in the last few years. We decreased the implementation time for software leasing from 9-12 months to 3 months, and customers still thinking it's long and too expensive. And what will happen once the cloud offers become more popular, while we still need to do the setup at pretty much the same level of cost as before? We all know NAV is not too self-explanatory when you look at it for the first time, isn't it? So if you decided to change nothing in your business, think about it. If you choose B and decide to rethink your strategies having in mind US Microsoft trends and changes, you have two options too. You can start creating your own verticals or start looking at and working with already proved ones. If you decide to create your own vertical, there are a few things to think about. And first of all is investment needed. You need to think about research and development, your product architect and people who will be working with the solution. You need to think about marketing, and actually this is the weak part in many partner organizations. You need to think about your sales, because our people are used to sell big projects and now implementation should be fast and easy. You need to think about support. I mean product support, also the partner support if you are selling through the partner channel. And unfortunately, the payback during the year 1 will be pretty low. In year 2, you should have a little bit better payback, while the standard payback time is 4 or 5 years. So you might want to have some cover for the time you are exploring the market. The good thing for us at Softera Baltic was that while we were building our add-ons, we could cover from the projects we were doing in Lithuania with the standard NAV. So that's something to think about. That's why I will focus on going vertical with an ISV who has already proved add-ons in the market today. And now is the time to go back to the question raised previously. What's unique? So here's my definition of what unique means in our world. It's the problem you solve for someone that is better than anyone else. And until you understand what the problem is, until you are getting into that hairy, sticky mess of a problem so much that it's under your fingernails, you are only playing at it. The company that wins in the end is the one that crystallizes the problems the customer has, can articulate the pain back to the client, and can present an elegant solution that costs less than the problem being solved. The challenge to you is to be able to efficiently gather together a group of people who can relate to the key problems you are describing. And that often means diving deep into an industry so that you can become the established player with a refreshingly new approach to solving problems they care about. Which brings us to industry verticals. They play a major role in Microsoft Dynamics world. And what really is a vertical solution? It's pre-customized for your specific industry or type of business. You can avoid many of the challenges that often arise in complex customization projects in which the code is written from the scratch. It's based on the practice in specific industry, with many companies from your industry having contributed with their business knowledge. You can benefit from the solution faster. It's developed in cooperation with companies and partners in the industry. You are not alone when it comes to the further development of the solution, neither when it comes to investment nor functionality. And most often implemented by a partner who knows the industry. With the industry knowledge, your partner can challenge your company's bad habits, which can lead to improvements you had not considered. In recent years, we started getting more inquiries from NAV partners all over the world for our NAV-based solutions, software leasing and software real estate. NAV partners started understanding that with the well-developed add-on, they will have less confusion during the project as the implementation will go faster and smoother. They will gain a happier customer because the overall software solution will fit the customer's business better. And no headaches once it comes to a system upgrade. Top-of-mind concerns for the customer have transformed over the past 10 years. What we see ourselves and hear from the partners, they are less dependent on traditional supplier relationships and are concerned about the time required to develop and implement custom solutions. Customers tend to focus very much on risk in recent years. Now solutions should be fast, they should be easy, they should be as low risk as possible. For example, software real estate solution is very easy to implement and learn, and it's not that risky. And just a couple of years ago, we have implemented the solution in the Kingdom of Bahrain in just 3 days. By partnering with ISVs, companies can rise to meet the changing need of their customers in the following ways. Offerings are broad and cross many industries. Customizing solutions for each customer would be timely and expensive. You can bundle software and services to offer one single solution. The solutions that come from partnering have already been tried and tested, making them low risk to implement. And customers enjoy opportunities to see the product before they buy. From the experience working with the partners and their feedback, also Microsoft, I can distinguish top 5 benefits of working with the ISV. Meeting customer demand. What I mean by that, you as a partner can offer business-ready solutions and reduce time to value. According to the data from Microsoft Partner Profitability Study, it's clear that not all revenue streams are equal. The solutions with package IP drive the largest gross margins, which often exceed 65%. Verticals open new markets and thus sales opportunities that a NAV VAR partner could not gain from without an industry-specific solution. With many marketplaces emerging, it is important to differentiate yourself from the pack. Most competitor marketplaces do not have the level of support required to meet the ever-evolving customer demands. With the breadth and depth of the Microsoft ISV partner channel, your company is positioned to succeed. Using ISV solutions to drive deep conversations with your customers can help you uncover additional needs and pain points. In order to sell to a customer working in a particular industry, the partner needs industry-specific knowledge, which they usually do not have. An ISV can pass on that concentrated know-how fast, so the partner can speak the customer's language and be able to complete the sales. It helps to become a trusted advisor to your customer. By combining Microsoft offerings and innovative marketing technologies from ISVs, you can showcase yourself as the innovative and forward-thinking partner the customer wants to work with. Without any doubt, if you decide to go with ISVs, you want to make sure you choose the good one. So the question is, what is a good ISV? What you should look at? We try to find 5 ways to distinguish between reliable and non-reliable ISVs. And first criteria, solution is certified, should be certified, and has its own object range. Also, it should be ready for the new Microsoft trends. We had cases when solution was hard-coded into an AV, and you know it would bring a lot of problems. There are clear instructions on how to implement the solution, preferably by the partner themselves, because many ISVs just want to sell the products without the implementation, so it should be easy for you to implement it yourself. For example, we at Software support our partners on the implementations. We have prepared the partner package with all the needed instructions, starting from marketing materials to the implementations for the easy start of the partner. ISV should provide clear pricing and margin guidelines, because we all know that Indonesia is different from USA in terms of purchasing power, for example. Also, ISV should have a good marketing team to help partners with market research and solution promotion in their market, because many of the VAR partners today does not have the needed resources. And the last but probably most important one is that ISV's team would be a pleasure to work with, because once we were searching for a construction add-on to support our software real estate solution sale, and faced that some ISVs did not reply at all, some replied after a week, and some did not have any partner program. So that should be considered before choosing ISV. Talking about going vertical and good ISVs brings us to software. What is software? I mentioned before the company Softera Baltic we are working in. So software is registered brand describing software solution for the financial and property management sectors, which I will talk today. And software covers 3 main solutions. Software real estate, which is for commercial property management, software leasing, which is for asset finance management companies, and the newest one is software leasing, which will not be covered today, but let me know after the webinar if you might be interested in that. It's a software solution for companies which have a large portfolio of operating leases and will be affected by the changing IFRS 16 standard, and it should be by January 1st, 2019. And all of our solutions are certified for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. You probably know what it means, that it was designed specifically for some certain industry. It's easy to expand, maintain, and upgrade. They are constantly developed. We usually release 2 releases per year of each product, and that no less than 10 companies would recommend the product. A few quick facts. At the moment, we have more than 50 partners worldwide. At Softera Baltic, we have implemented more than 250 projects by now, and we do the annual survey for our customers, so 92% of our customers would highly recommend us to others. And now let's talk a bit about software real estate. So as mentioned before, the solution is for commercial property operators. It might be the owners or third-party companies managing the properties, and they should manage office buildings, shopping centers, industrial spaces. We had some untypical projects and inquiries for the companies that manages yachts or parking lots. And some similar few key product facts. Solution allows to easily track and manage lease information effectively, speed up new contract preparation, improve clients' customer service, build flexible pricing, control and maintenance, and distribute common area maintenance fees, enjoy fast access to real-time reporting. Reports are integrated with Power BI, and manage work orders and maintenance tasks. Also, we do have an add-on on CRM, which was built for the sales. So solution also allows managing sales and communication history easier. And this is how the role center looks like. Customers can see their property maps. They have a lease unit availability chart and can see which property will be reserved, vacant, or occupied in some certain period of time. Of course, the contracts and most important functions that property managers need daily. And as mentioned before, the solution might be integrated with CRM add-on for real estate sales management. And the solution covers functionality starting from customer and prospect management, work orders, tasks, common area maintenance fees, data analysis. There is also a tenant portal allowing our customers, the tenants, would do a lot of stuff by themselves. And the ideal customer for the property management solution would be the one who is involved in property management business and operates the property, so we need to collect the rent and other service fees from the tenants. Works in more complex business like commercial property sector. It might be used for residential too, but since the commercial property management process is more complex, we position it for the commercial property. And most importantly, wants to manage all property management activities in one system, including accounting. One of the biggest pains of our customer is that they manage the properties and accounting in separate systems, and they duplicate the data, miss the data, and it's a lot of manual work. And the size of the customer, they should have several office buildings, shopping malls, warehouses, or hundreds of apartments to manage. The cloud customer in average is 3 to 5 users, while standard customer is about 15. And what the customer pains do we usually face? So as I mentioned, they use different systems for property management and financial accounting. Probably also one of the most faceable pain is that it's difficult for them to distribute common area maintenance fees for the customers. And property managers want to track cost per leases, see the history of particular lease, and in most cases no history is recorded, so they don't have where to look back. And some of the customers both sell and rent the properties, and they need to see everything in one system. What value brings the software? So it covers the major needs of the property management industry, allowing users to track and manage lease information and providing real-time data with integrated financial accounting, document management, reporting, and business analysis tools in one system. And how does it differentiate? It's reasonable cost for value. belongs to Microsoft product family. It actually works very well with some customers because, as you probably know, there are Microsoft lovers all around the world. It's very easy to learn and work with, and deploys very fast. If we are talking about the standard solution and the customer decides to do the data migration themselves and they learn by themselves, it might take up to a day to implement a solution. Customers can enjoy real-time data, and it integrates with any other software. We do have customers all around the world, starting with the USA, Hong Kong, Australia, local companies in Europe. And it brings me to software leasing, another solution we will cover today. This solution is for asset finance companies, for automotive equipment, real estate, and other types of lending and asset finance companies. And it integrates with lease accounting, lease management, and financial accounting in one system. Supports all main asset financing concepts, from finance, lease, operating lease to retail financing, innovative lease, and others. System allows entire lease cycle from quote creation, application, contract operation to contract termination and expiration. And key product facts. Solution covers lease management, risk management, asset management, and most importantly, reporting. This is how the role center looks. And the ideal customer for software leasing would be the customer who is involved in leasing business, works in the segment we have most of experience, for example, automotive and equipment. And I should mention that the main product architect has more than 10 years in leasing industry experience, so they know the industry itself very well. And the size, what we consider small customer, the ones who have 500, 1,000 lease contracts. A medium size of a customer would be starting from 5,000 to 50,000 lease contracts, and the large customer is over 100 lease contracts. The customer wants to manage all leasing activities in one system, including accounting. So it's the same as with software real estate. Nobody wants to enter data in few different systems, and uses other Microsoft software. So of course it's much easier to sell the solutions for the customers who already use Microsoft products, especially NAV. And it's better when the top management is looking for the software solution, not IT, because they are the ones who are making the decision. And customer is ready to invest at least 50,000 USD, which is starting the starter pack with 3 users. And what customer pains do we usually face with software leasing? Customer uses different systems for lease management, lease accounting, and financial accounting. Therefore, numbers do not match. Or again, the same as with software real estate, they miss the data, duplicate the data, and it takes time to enter all that data in different systems. Software might be too complicated to maintain and update. Some of the customers outgrown their systems, and systems cannot run efficiently anymore. And leasing software is expensive, so integrated leasing software solutions cost much, and some of them covers just the front end or back end operations. So it's better when everything is in one place and cover all that functionality. And it might happen that customers have some specific functional needs, like to see whole life cost of the assets or whole life income of the assets, or they just cannot track the history but needs that. So what value the software leasing brings? It allows entire lease cycle management from quote application, contract operation to the termination once. And so as software real estate is how it differentiates its reasonable cost for value, and it's more complex but still easy to learn and work with. Comparing with the other leasing software, it deploys quite fast, and as mentioned before, back office to front office operations are covered. There are more than 30 known companies of leasing and asset finance that already use their solutions, starting from various banks to local and international automotive lease companies. And now I would like you to ask yourself a question. How would your business be impacted if you could scale to meet niche market demands, provide innovative solutions, and outpace your competitors? And I would like to leave you with that question in mind. And now it's time for questions.
As Laura mentioned, if there's any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself to ask the questions, or use the IM window to post the question. We'll give a few moments for that, and if there's no questions from the partners, I do have a few questions, so let's just give it a second.
Sure.
Let me maybe start, Laura. Thank you for the presentation and really cementing what I said at the start, in that vertical focus is really the future for NAV partners. We see this across the African continent, that the vertically focused partners are the ones that are the most successful in the sales cycle. And if I have to start with that, I suppose part of a challenge in taking on a new vertical solution such as Soft4 is that there's obviously limited skills within the partner when it comes to knowledge on this specific industry vertical. If a partner has an opportunity, firstly from a sales cycle perspective, does Soft4 support the partner during the sales cycle, or is there if a partner has an opportunity, you provide the required marketing material and you're obviously available for calls, but how do you typically engage with a partner during a sales cycle?
Actually, it very depends on the partner. With some partners, we work from the very beginning. Either there might be that we are generating leads, and when we have the leads in the specific country, we send the lead for the partner to follow up and drive them through the sales process. Of course, if the partner feels comfortable and wants to do that himself, or with some other partners, they generate the leads themselves already, and if they need any help from us, they have any questions, we support them all the way. We have prepared the partner toolkit, where there is all the needed material, the material that we think the partner might need if they want to work themselves with the products, starting with the marketing, sales. We do have sales training that we provide for the partner that they would feel comfortable with. Also from the technical part, as well. We have prepared everything that partner could implement the solution themselves. So again, it depends on the partner, but we support our partners through the way, and if any questions rise during the sales cycle with the customer, we are always there to answer and help. And also, just to mention, since the demo is the part of the sale, again, it depends on the partner, but the process is that we do involve the partner in the first demo. First demo we usually do ourselves, then partner learns. The second demo the partner does. If he feels comfortable already, then we are involved just to answer the questions if the partner cannot do that. And then after that, most of the partners want to do the demo themselves.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
It does. However, I suppose as all good response, it leads to more questions. You mentioned the partner toolkit. I think we'll coordinate after the call, so partners can contact us in order to help distribute that partner toolkit. Laura, if that's okay with you. The question I have is, you mentioned sales and technical training. First question that would normally pop up is, what does that entail? Are there costs involved, and can you give us an estimate on how much time and which level of resources are required for both the sales and the technical training?
Yeah, sure. So sales training is free of charge, and it takes about an hour. And if after that partner has some more questions, we spend some time for that. If talking about technical training, it takes starting from 4 hours to 8 hours. Depends on the partner how fast can they learn. Also depends a bit on the product. Software real estate is less complex solutions, so it's easier to learn working with the solution. When it comes to software leasing, it takes more time so that partner could work independently with the solution.
Okay, perfect. Next question I have is, earlier in the presentation you mentioned obviously how our customers are driving down the time spent on implementations of this type of solution in this industry, and you mentioned a 3-month period. With that 3 months that you mentioned, obviously that depends on the scale of the customer, and wanted to confirm, is that only for the ISV portion, in other words for the Soft4 portion, or would that be for the entire implementation, thus Soft4 plus NAV?
This is a good question, but if we are talking about an EV, it very depends on the partner and how fast the partner can implement an EV. Because, for example, I mentioned 3 days implementation in the Kingdom of Bahrain. So it was the whole project, the NAV and software real estate implemented in 3 days. But when we talk with the partners and ask them how fast can they implement NAV, the answers vary very much, starting from a week if it's a cloud, to few months. So I cannot answer that question like very specifically, because it depends on the partner, because partners usually implement NAV, and we are more responsible for software real estate or software leasing part. So
no, that's a perfect, I suppose, understandable response. On that, can I ask you, where have you seen more success? Has it been in sales cycles where a partner had an incumbent customer already running NAV, but perhaps running other line of business systems in order to do lease and property management? Or has the most sales resulted where a partner actually engaged with the customer on both the NAV and the software message in one? In other words, a complete overhaul of systems.
That's a question that requires a bit of thinking, but actually the most successful and shortest projects in terms of sales are with the customers that already uses NAV, and when they just need an add-on on top of it to avoid customizations, and they already know the solution, the platform I mean, and then they know what they need, the NAV add-on, and then it's very fast. We actually just had a recent sale which took up to 2 weeks because the customer had an AV. So those are the most successful and shortest.
Okay, fantastic. Then I also see Agneta had posted a few questions that you commonly receive. The first one is, and I think not so much worried about how long the solutions have been in market, but in regards to the two offerings that you spoke about today, which ones are the top selling? And why we're asking that, obviously, is to help guide the partners on the call from a sales and prospecting perspective, which is the solution that gets the most attention.
Okay, so let me start with that. We have more sales and more projects completed by now with the software leasing solution, but the reason is that it's our oldest solution, and it's been in the market quite long, about 15 years. And software real estate is a younger one, but since it's easier to learn and implement, it has a potential too. So I cannot distinguish one against another, because one is older, and of course that's why it has more sales, but we have quite much interest for both.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for the clarification. Next thing that Agneta mentioned, and definitely something I wanted to touch on, is obviously the big news in the market is Dynamics 365 Business Central. Obviously, I suppose cloud-based Business Central, and now more recently the on-premise version. So can you advise, let's maybe start with the cloud-based version for the partners in South Africa where the cloud-based application is available as yet. Where are you guys in terms of having the add-on ready for Business Central Cloud?
Yeah, so software real estate solution is already on extensions, and this week actually we are planning to publish it on the app stores. I don't know how much it will take for the Microsoft to go through the validation process, but we are there. And with software leasing, we are moving it to Business Central on-prem. Not yet, but it's in the plan. Since it's more complex, we are not sure yet if it's going to be on the app stores, but we probably do our best for that to happen.
Okay, thank you for clarification. Then obviously you mentioned that the solution is CFMD'd on Dynamics NAV. Can you perhaps provide guidance from a version perspective, any specific versions that you focus on, 2018, 17, 16, 15, or back to 2009? What can the partners look at in terms of the customer base?
It's certified for 2017, and we are planning to certify it for 2018, but it's all the solutions are moved to NAV 2018, and the latest version is now 2018. And since Microsoft requires, starting January 1st, the on-prem versions would be on Business Center for both solutions.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for the clarification. Partners, I think that's all from my side. If there are any further questions from the guys on the call, please, if you can ask those questions now. And if not, I think we can conclude and save everybody 5 minutes of their day.
Okay, so
any questions?
Seems that
any partner? If not, we're going to conclude the call. Laura, we want to thank you for your time, and we look forward to an engagement with the partner. There on the presentation deck is the email. Please feel free to reach out to Laura and team directly. Alternatively, as always, please feel free to reach out to the team here in South Africa, Dynamics Africa. We'll happily coordinate and put you in contact with the right people in order to gain access to, I think, very specifically the partner toolkit that was mentioned. If there's no further questions, I think we're going to conclude. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, as Nick mentioned, if you have any questions or want to talk one-on-one or see the demonstrations of the solutions, just let us know.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.